So Jeff, with AI and writing, seems like writing teachers are going to have to adapt and change some things very quickly as ChatGPT becomes more and more popular. Uh, what are your thoughts, or how are you adjusting your assignments, making brand new assignments, changing assignments? How's it working for the university writing teacher with AI?
For me personally, I have been making my assignments a little bit more specific. So one of the things that we notice with AI is when you plug in a prompt, it tends to give you very general information about a topic. I compare it to when you do a search in Wikipedia and you say, tell me about the Civil War, and it will give you a basic rundown in several paragraphs about the Civil War, what it was about, why it started, what happened. And they are kind of like encyclopedia blurbs that you find. Very short, not very detailed, not very nuanced as well. So with my assignments, I've always tried to make sure that the assignments are specific, but now I'm focusing even more on that, where I'm asking students to structure their essays in a certain way. I'm asking them to put their thesis right up front, as I normally do, but I'm also asking them to do certain things within the essay, and that becomes very difficult to ask that of AI. The prompt becomes a little bit too long and complicated, and it's not just going to spit out an essay for my assignments in an instant. So the students will have to spend time working with that. And that's the idea, that it's very difficult to police whether or not students are using AI or not. Even if you suspect it, it's very hard to prove that with the detection tools that we have right now. It's not definitive. Mm-hmm. So you never want to accuse a student of something, but I do talk to students sometimes and say, are these your words? You know, are you the one writing this, or is this coming from another source? And students are starting to realize that it takes much more than simply putting in a simple prompt and expecting their entire assignment to be written for them. And sometimes they're opting not to use AI at all because it's an additional step that they don't want to take. They'd rather just learn it for themselves. So I wonder if that's the direction we might go in. Some students may use AI when they get stuck, and I think that's fine. If they don't know how to word something, they might try it on AI and see what they suggest, and then kind of build off of that. Those are appropriate uses of AI, I think. But just cutting and pasting, we certainly don't want them to do that. So the more specific the assignments, the easier it is to avoid problems with plagiarism.
Now, I have a question. When you are implementing this sort of new structure, as you said, where the thesis has to go at the top, and the things that you're and other teachers are putting in place as a sort of a new structure for an essay to sort of not game or beat out, but let's just, for lack of a better word, to say to compensate for ChatGPT doing it for the student, right? Mm-hmm. I'm assuming that those things that you and other teachers are asking students to do now are pretty much things that you would want them to do anyway, right? So it's actually, you're not asking students to do things that just to not have ChatGPT do it, but also to make for a better essay. Am I assuming correctly that these things you're putting in place are upping the game of the writing student and not just to compensate for ChatGPT?
That's true. I mean, the idea, when we have a technology like this, the idea is that, okay, this can help us. So maybe we don't have to do some of the more tedious things. And now we could focus on more advanced writing. Gotcha. It's the same idea with when calculators came out, that a lot of people thought, well, no one will be able to add and subtract and multiply anymore. And of course, that's absolutely not true. But having a calculator allows you to move more quickly and maybe get to a more advanced level in math than you would have if you were focusing solely on the basics of math, right?
Mhm.
So that's the idea here, that if we can use this as a tool and start teaching students more complex essays so that they're not so rigid, we could get away from the basic 5-paragraph essay, things like that, and do something maybe a little bit more creative, interesting, and more effective for the reader as well.
So this sounds like a wonderful opportunity coming out of ChatGPT, where, and I don't know enough about AI to understand exactly what it's producing, but it seems like it's producing many times the sort of the average of what it's being asked. It's pulling in a lot. It's giving you sort of a average response, where what you're saying is, and that gives us the opportunity to ask our students to create much more nuanced, complex essays that is a lot harder for ChatGPT to spit out.
That's
which
right.
is a huge opportunity for writing. It's the other side of this. It's the bright side of this, where writing could improve because AI is too, in a sense, too bland. We're teaching our students to write above ChatGPT, which would be fantastic.
Right. I have a colleague who, I don't know if this is the right answer or the wrong answer, but I have a colleague who has been talking to his students and saying, yes, you can use ChatGPT, but now I'm expecting that your essays are at a higher standard than they were before now, right? Your sentence structure should be much clearer, and you should be doing exactly what I'm asking you to do in the assignment. So maybe this can get to us to a place where we're better off learning from this. That's the hope.
Gotcha.